wanted to shoot in Iran, went to Warner Brothers, and they were like, absolutely no Iran. So that you had to kind of understand that. You can't come tell the studio bad guy story about how they said no to Iran. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go. And I want to shoot plates, and I want to do rooftops, and just go with like a digital camera. I got to do research. I've never seen any of this stuff. It's really important to me to go to Iran. So I went to the State Department, and they were like, well, you could go to Iran. They said that I would go, show up somewhere, and then get surrounded by a bunch of, like mullahs and hats, and they would whip out cameras and take pictures, and it would become a thing of, like, politicizing me and the movie, and Tehran Ben loves this government, and then it would just mix up the movie too much for me anyway. So I said, forget it. So what we ended up doing was going to Turkey instead, which had some similar architecture. A lot of Turks. We didn't have any... We didn't have any Persians because all the Persians were afraid that their families would get some sort of reprisal if they got involved in an American movie. So we switched back because look at our luck. It turns out the greatest concentration of Iranians outside of Iran is like Pico and Westwood. So we came back here, and it was like we couldn't get out of the way of Iranians. Everybody spoke Persian. Everybody was an actor. Everybody wanted to be in the movie, and everyone wanted to direct it. So we got like filled the airport, and with the North Hills VA was our embassy and stuff. And can I say, by the way, we love shooting California. More people should shoot in California. It's an incredible place to work. It's good. And we had fun. We did a couple of days in D.C. where we got to go to the real CIA, which they hadn't let any movie go there in forever, because I think of the quality of the script and because of Tony Mendez, who is such an esteemed guy there. So that was cool. I met David Petraeus, you know what I mean? You like meet all these people in Hollywood and it's cool, and then you meet the real David Petraeus, you know, and you just think, I'm not a man.
We kind of started from the point of view that we both sort of in our minds and hearts or whatever knew the essence of what we wanted to do, right? And once we trust each other and understand our intentions of telling the story, then we know that we're not going to try to distort into some propagandistic or with some political agenda or whatever, you know. So if there are characters that are composites of characters, you know, the Iranians, for example, that we show are largely the most extremist part of a really diverse population. You know, you have and hopefully that's shown as well in the film, that this is a really diverse, complicated society. But the people who we needed and who were most relevant to the plight of the house guests were the Comité and the Revolutionary Guards, you know. So there were times when we say, are we focusing too much on these sort of wild-eyed extremists? But in fact, that was, you know, we knew that we felt comfortable in the way that we were approaching the story and in our view of geopolitics. So we thought we can pick and choose the parts of an Iranian society that we show and hopefully give at least a sense of a more diverse place.
It was smart. It was provocative. It was unusual. People don't make movies like this all the time. I was free to judge it because I just came upon it out of nowhere, you know. And it was this really adult, complicated, thoughtful, funny studio 70s movie. The kind that I loved and that I never, ever get to see anymore. You know, to me, you have two responsibilities. One is you have a responsibility to adhere to the deep core truth of the story, to not betray the essence of the story. You're telling a truth, it says based on true events. It better damn well be based on true events. The other responsibility as a director is to make the best movie you can possibly make. Because if the movie doesn't work, then your true story is a tree falling in the woods. So you got to make a movie that hooks the audience, that brings them with you, that gets you to care about each and every single one of those people who's in hiding, to care about the guy who's putting his life on the line to go find him, the Canadians who've been sheltering him. And so you use, as Chris said, devices at times to do that. And sometimes you find real stuff. We go, well, this is amazing. This is perfect. We're going to put it right in the movie. And sometimes they wandered around for 3 days, and it's like, well, let's just get them to the final destination, you know? But for me, I was always trying to balance those things. But I relied also quite heavily on Chris for his expertise, his research, his nuance. You know, I had never had this kind of relationship as a director with a writer, where the writer was, you know, separate, had written the script, gave it to me. I gave him notes. We made the movie. He was my partner. He was amazing. We were together the whole time. I suppose it seems like a normal thing to some of you, but it was a complete novelty to me.